the original player here. And let me tell you something, there's a lot going on in the business today and very exciting stuff. Unless you've been under a rock, you've heard Bruce Pritchard talk about, the Podfather. Conrad asked him who's one person he would sign now that he's Vince's basically right-hand guy. And first name come to mind is our Latin heartthrob, the Bull of the Woods champion, Gino. And it's really exciting because you just never know what's going to happen in this business. And with Pritchard's pool, Gino could be gone before you know it. He could be the next one. But irregardless, I know he's going to continue to push and train and work hard. So, but it's really nice knowing that somebody who has so much pull and knowledge of the business is a fan of Gino's, and I can't be any prouder of him right now. And I mentioned on Twitter, Lance Vision, at Lance Vision. Ricky Starks has some stuff in the works, and I know he didn't have a huge social media presence, but I think you're going to see a lot more of him real soon. Pretty sure of it. Chandler Hopkins is becoming bigger and bigger every week, and that's with awareness, matches he's going to, and his body. Almost second to none. I'm not sure if he'll ever live up to Brian Cage, but for his size, he's about as good as anybody that's out there today. And he's talented as hell. So there's a lot of things, Austin Theory, there's so much right on his shoulders going on. Miranda from ROW down in Houston, she broke a view record, I believe, just recently, or 1 million views, something outrageous. So there's just a lot of good stuff going on. I noticed lately I've been talking, and I've mentioned about Fuego del Sol. He started the year off with some challenges, basically, to himself in front of you guys, and saying that he was going to talk himself into the next level. And maybe some people kind of questioned it, wasn't sure what he was talking about. I'm going to tell you what, at this point, we're halfway mark in the year. Fuego's doing some damn good stuff, and he's getting noticed, and that's good for him, There's some things like, I think Bryson Scott, he got himself hurt recently, his knee. I don't believe it's super injured, so he'll be back in no time. But knees, ankles, those kind of things, some serious stuff. So be careful, your neck, your back, shit like that. So there's just a lot of good stuff going on. AEW just recently announced that they're going to be, I believe it's the Capitol Arena, or Capitol Center, anyway, in Washington, for their first TV taping, and Cody Rhodes is going to be in the first match to start. So what a good way to open. Really exciting, and AEW, you can be a fan of them. I think sometimes that's where the hate comes from, because there's going to be fans that want to be super fans, and it says they come off as creepy. And I think that's what hurts AEW to some people's eyes, that their fans sometimes just kind of go over the board, a little obsessive, maybe. So support them, but not so much, not so crazy. AEW has their talent is due to people's perspective. To me, it's a young, good roster. I mean, you got MJF, Jungle Boy, Kip Sabian, Hangman Page, so much young talent. There's a whole bunch more, of course. They should be around for a really, really long time. I'm curious, and I put this on Twitter, what's going to happen in 3 years when maybe bigger names start opening up and some of these contracts are coming up. These social media guys, that they were signed because of their following and whatnot, their cult following, some of them, are they going to be around, or are they going to be cashed to the side? Now, no, we don't have to look 3 years in advance, but it's just something I kind of brought up because I'm curious who they're going to cut. Someone's going to have to get cut, but that's part of the business. But aside from that, there's so much going on. This is Wednesday, which just happens to be my birthday, and I'm preparing myself for tomorrow, Thursday, August 1st. I think it's Christie's Ballroom in Dallas for Lucha Brutal. And so much good stuff going on. Not a huge fan that Ricky Starks is taking on Gino. Still not a huge fan. But I know as far as talent is concerned, you're talking of two of the best anywhere finally going one-on-one. So though I'm not a fan of it, I'll be interested into seeing how that plays out. I know I'll probably sit with the Kingpin Carlos and his Mafia, pay-per-view Mafia, great bunch of great guys, and I'm looking forward to that. It is bring your own. I believe last time you had to pay $10. This time it's free, so that's a good deal. But it's a fun show. I was at the first one. It was a fun show, a lot of great talent, and I don't recommend that you miss it. And I know that when they first came out, I wasn't a huge fan because here I was, another wrestling promotion. But after talking to the owner and the promoter, and I hope to get some footage of him, maybe before or after Thursday night show, that there's a reason behind this one. It's a sincere reason. And he's also creating another platform for the boys. And from what I can tell in the talent, good boys to work. Good talent to work. And I'm always a big fan of that. I would never discourage a platform for good talent to work. Unless you create a platform with a bunch of big names and then you don't pay them, then you can fuck off. But aside from that, pay your boys, take care of them, and treat them right. And when I say boys, I mean girls too. It's just a generic term for boys. So, but I mean them all. So there's just so much going on. I've got my progress, and I tell you, just recently, I was invited by Chandler Hopkins to be his guest daily, actually, at a local gym. I'm back up in Arlington, North Texas, and I'm going to take him up on it. Just a super guy. He's a great guy, and he checks in on me. Gino checks in on me. Ricky Starks, and it means a lot. Those guys are sincere people, and it means a lot. So again, I've said this before. I can't work any harder than I already do. Okay, but because of that kind of response and reaction, I won't stop. And there's still some small things that not always you can see. And there's some neuro stuff that's still there because of the stroke. And I hope that over the next several weeks or months that I'll be ready to go. Because when I'm back 100%, then I'll be able to slap the shit out of Nastico. So since he's running around mouthing, actually he'll be at this Lucha Brutal show. How he got on the graphic, I have no idea. He's on the poster, so I'm assuming he got on by doing the graphics for the show. That's the only thing I could think of. But no, I'm getting ready. A lot of people want to get ready for this, get ready for that. I'm getting back in legit fight shape. And if you saw my last video, you saw the issue that I had where I had to go back into the trenches as a shoot. And though there are some things I can work on, I'm very happy and proud of what I did. I see now where there are some things I really need to work on. So maybe with Chandler, maybe I won't get his Rick Rude body, but I'm not necessarily looking for that. Get this back and get this back. And then I think we'll be ready to roll and create the buzz that's there, and we need to just bust it through, just bust it wide open, And I'll give a quick mention to Andy Dalton, who was up there with a guy I've talked to for years to try to come down here to Texas, and I think he came here once in Bedford, Caleb Conley, and great talent. And he's been with AML and Impact Wrestling, and so Andy Dalton and him had a horrendous fight. I'll just say the fight, death match, street fight, whatever. So good for those. I've seen some clips, and that's some hard shit. Continue to, I think I saw Jackson Stone is going to put out another episode of his awareness, and believe it or not, I highly recommend it. There's so much that goes on, and I once said, find yourself a good friend and lean on them while you can, because it's very, very important. If you get insincere people who just, I mean, I don't know why, but if there's just insincere people that want to joke, if you talk about the seriousness of your situations, or even if you talk about suicide, and I don't know, they dare you or challenge you that you're too scared to do it, get the fuck away from them. Okay, you don't need that bullshit. Okay, so I'm sure there's a lot of other things that he covers, but I know he's very, very serious about it. So I highly recommend going and checking that out and reaching out to him. And I have, without naming names, almost five to seven people who I speak to a few times a week, and they speak out on what they're going through. And I can only advise and speak about my situation and give advice about it. And if I haven't gone through what you're going through, then I direct them. And just like in wrestling, I won't tell somebody to do something that I've never done or give them advice that I've never done, but I will try to find the avenue of what you can do to get better. So, man, with that said, it's an exciting time for the business, and I say this every time, and I'm waiting for a swerve or something to happen, and man, I tell you, we've been lucky. We've been lucky that everything's just going really well, and continue. Fans, go to the show and be a fan. Don't try to distract. Don't try to be the guy. Have a good time. Let the wrestlers have a good time and do their thing. Don't be annoying at ringside where people just want to tell you to shut the fuck up. Probably 10 years ago, I would have told you to shut the fuck up. And now I'm going to probably politely ask you quietly to shut the fuck up. So go and enjoy yourself. And same thing with wrestlers. Man, whatever's going on in your head, whether it's good or bad or whatever in the real world, I recommend the night before, the day of, to get yourself who you are. And by the time you're at the ring and you get to the building and you're at the ring, you are who you want to be. Some of us say it's living the gimmick. Some of us are the gimmick. Okay? And that's who we are. So if you're not that, that's okay. But transition yourself. And for that night, for those 3, 4, 5 hours, forget what's going on. Go and be you. And entertain the fans. Give them what they want. And in my case, I'd like to see Ricky, unfortunately, and Gino have that edge. And I know they're going to. And they're going to give the fans everything they want tomorrow night at Lucha Brutal. So, man, with that said, continue to push, do everything you can to do right, and I guess basically get freaky. But if you can't get freaky, stay freaky deaky. OP out.